Hey class, so this semester I'm going to try something new. I might do it weekly, I might do it bi-weekly. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But I thought about, maybe kind of taking a step back and finding some quotes that are thought-provoking, maybe ones that provide some sort of inspiration, right? And we can have a discussion on that. So, this week's quote is from Albert Einstein, and it is about education. He writes, "Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school." So how you respond to this is up to you. You can either talk about what you think it means, whether you think it's true, whether you think it's not, however you want to do it. For me, well, I'm thinking, what would one forget that they learned? Maybe facts, maybe dates in history, or maybe formulas, especially if you don't use them. Those might be the first to go. But he says but education is what remains after all that stuff has been forgotten. So maybe his focus is more on the process, right? So maybe it's not about getting the correct answer or remembering a formula or a math equation, but by doing that process, you have actually trained your brain to think in a certain way. And I know this is true because of the idea of a neuroplasticity. Right? The more we do something, the more we think, the more that we kind of form our brains, those vital pathways, they grow and they build. Your brain changes based on what we do, what we think. I actually did my 1A class on this up until this last semester, but I'll give you an example. They did a study on London cab drivers, right? They didn't rely on a GPS or anything like that. They relied on the brains. So they did scans of their brains, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the part that kind of helps with a direction, it might have been the prefrontal lobe or the frontal cortex. Anyway, that part was bigger than anyone else's. So think about that. So maybe he's talking about the process. What you learn is not necessarily what's on the surface, but you have learned how to problem solve. But maybe it's more about the experience. Maybe you fail a test, you've gone through that, right, and you know how to kind of pick yourself up by your bootstraps and try harder. I don't know. I'll be interested to see what you guys think.